What was that?
Sorry, it's just recording.
Okay. Yeah, so a lot of great traditional recipes. And so if you guys have any questions along the way, feel free to answer, and then Costa will, you can probably put it in the chat and then he can kind of relay those messages to me. And I'm happy to answer them, especially if you have any baking questions or anything else. We sent out or posted some ingredients and some steps before to make the melomakarona. And so hopefully you guys all have your dough. So if you want to get started, let's all maybe like check out our dough. So this is the dough. I don't know. I'm going to bring this down a little bit and show you here. So this is the dough here. So it should kind of turn out a little bit greasy. It looks greasy. That's like a weird word to say, but it looks a little bit like that, but that's okay. And that's what we want. And if you guys have that, I don't know, kind of maybe I may like go around. If you guys have any questions, I can like look at your dough, see how it's looking, and then we can get going on the next steps. I'll kind of like look through all the videos. I don't know who has made their dough or not, and I'm happy to check them out. Whoever has a video up, or if you guys have a question, whatever. If not, then we can get going. I can't really see everyone's, it's kind of slow. Okay, I'm just gonna get going on the dough. But again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat and I'm happy to answer them. So with melomakarona, you always have your syrup going kind of first, because with baked goods, you usually want to put like a hot cookie or hot or like a hot syrup on a cold surface, like a cake or cookie, and then you kind of merge them in. So that's what we're going to do after we bake them. We're going to put, so if you guys have your syrup too going, I have mine going here. It's just on low, so it's just going to kind of stay kind of cooled and warmed for when my cookies come out. And yeah, so really quick, so we're going to just start rolling. I'll roll with you guys if you guys want. So I like little kind of like oval shapes like this. You guys can see here. I'll show you guys some other ways that some people do them as well. This is the way my does it, and so I do it this way too. And we're just gonna put them on our baking sheet. So I'll show you here. So mine are more round, and then, like I said, some people do like an oval shape, and I'll kind of show you those too. So you just roll them here, and then some people make them kind of like more oval, like so. And that's okay. Whatever you want to do with your little biscuits first, you can do that. And then you can also form little divots in your dough like this, just kind of like make like little fun little designs, whatever. So we can make a few different types like this, if you guys can see here. So I'm just going to put a bunch on the baking dish, and then we're going to put them into the oven. So your oven should be going at 350. So I'm just going to make a bunch. I'll kind of vary it, but I do like more circular, and they will expand. So I just kind of make them like this little size, and I just like little bite-sized stuff too. Like even my cumbiadas are kind of bite-sized, and then you just kind of like make these little circles and then pat them down. Notice my hands are getting a little greasy, and that's okay. That's what we want from our dough. So this is the fun process. Hope you guys are all rolling. I wish I could see everybody. But again, like if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat and we will answer them, or I will. And yeah, I don't know if anyone's made them before. These are obviously very traditional around Christmas. They're personally my favorite cookie. So now this is my second time this month making them. I made a big batch with my Stella just a couple weeks ago. She plans everything ahead in advance, and so we have those all done for her because she'll freeze them. So I'll kind of go over that as well. You can also, after you cook them, let them cool, obviously, and then you can freeze them. Because these freeze really well for months, really. I mean, not like they might last that long, but that's an option. How's everybody doing? All right, I don't know how many people are like baking along, but
There was a question if the pan was greased before.
No, it's not. I don't grease mine before because the dough is already quite greasy, and then it gets the bottoms of them a little bit more burnt that way too. Not burnt, but browned. So I keep them non-greasy. Yeah, I'll make a few of the ovals too. I just realized I'm like heavy on the circles and not on the ovals. So we'll make a few ovals just for fun. Yeah, how many people are making something today or? So yeah, here's my little oval. So we're just gonna make like these little divots. I don't do them in mine, but it makes a fun little design if you do them that way. So yeah, and you can just tell that this cookie dough is like super flavorful. I mean, there's got some orange juice, we got cinnamon, shots of whiskey. I don't know if you guys took shots on your own while you're making it. That's just fine. And so yeah, I'm just gonna, sorry, I'm not the fastest roller, so this might be a boring process for you guys, but this just kind of shows you what we're doing here. So maybe as these are going in the oven, we can answer some more questions. So I'm gonna pop these in the oven here. So my oven is at 350 degrees and we're gonna bake for about 17 to 20 minutes, just until they're brown. So we'll check on it. So I'm gonna hurry and throw those in and then we'll get talking. So I'm gonna put these in the oven here. So I just timed mine for 18 minutes. So what I'm gonna show you too, so obviously right now you just like kind of keep rolling, put them on your baking sheets. So I'm just gonna show you the next steps and then we can kind of like work things together just so you guys can like do stuff on your own or stick around, whatever. So I'll show you how I prepare the next few things as they come out of the oven for the walnut part. So what I like to do is get some parchment paper. Hopefully you guys all have your chopped walnuts ready. So I'm gonna throw down some parchment paper and so with melomakarona, they dip them in honey. They're dipped in honey after, and then they're sprinkled with walnuts. But what I like to do is have some walnuts on the parchment paper, so the bottoms get have a little bit of walnuts on them as well. So I have some chopped walnuts here. So you don't have to go too crazy. Just put a little bit sprinkles down on your parchment paper. I'll bring this down a little bit so you guys can see me. So this is just preparing for when they come out of the oven, and then we'll move on and roll some more cookies. Because this recipe makes like 100 cookies. So they're great gifts, great to keep around. Like I said, they freeze really well. So I'm gonna put this off the side and I'm gonna be putting my cookies on them when they come out. And then they also are gonna be topped with a lot of walnuts too, or chopped walnuts. So that is just preparing. Just always be prepared for the next steps. And then we can roll some more. I'm happy to answer any questions while we are rolling the next batch. And then the next process is what you wanna see is the syrup and some more honey. So are there any other questions or should we keep rolling the next batch?
How long should bake?
Quick pause.
How long were you baking them for?
So I'm baking mine for about 17 to 20 minutes. I live at high altitude, so there's a lot of adjustments that I try to make when I write the recipes too. So like for me, I use less flour. You probably, if you like live on sea level, you might need to use more until you find that sticky dough. So feel free to always like write notes of like how much flour you use. If you notice, like most Greek recipes are like, mine says 7 to 8 cups of flour. So it's just like always variable. Even here too, like if it's a humid day, I need more flour. So you just always just kind of like work with the dough. And again, for anyone that's just hopping on, this is kind of what the dough is looking like. It's soft and sticky and a little bit greasy, which sounds weird, but it's really fine. Yeah, and then 18, 20 minutes, again, high altitude baking temperatures and time is a little different. So basically until you bake them until you can see like a little browning. I don't like to over bake. I just like a little soft cookie. They'll still get soft with the honey too, but that's usually my range. Sorry, that's a long answer. Anything else, or we can keep going on the rolling? We're good? Costa, we're good?
Yep, there's no question in the chat. If anyone wants, they can also unmute themselves too to ask a question.
Yeah, I'm happy to do like a quick little answer, question, whatever. If we want to just bake, we can just bake. No worries. Let's keep going. Okay, we're gonna keep going. So I'm gonna continue to roll. Was there, okay? Okay. Okay, so we're gonna keep rolling. Okay, so I'm gonna move this down a little bit. So I'm doing my other batch. So I just like, you can have like a bunch of these ready, just pop in the oven, pop out. Just always get those going. So I'm just gonna keep rolling some. Let me move this down and let's roll our second batch. If you have another spare baking dish, then go for it. If not, then we're gonna take them off and you're just gonna keep repeating the process. But it's handy to have a second one, especially because I'm always baking. So, okay, we're gonna keep rolling. I've said that 10 times, but here we go. So again, just like little round ovals. For my liking, I just like them like small, cute little circles, round circles. You can make ovals. That's up to you. And I kind of like just lightly flatten them down a little bit. My packs them like probably like one more each way, and she'll get mad at me. She saw this, like put some more on, but I don't do that. So again, you can make ovals if you like. I'll make a couple on this one again for you guys to look at. And how's everybody doing on here? Like some chatter. So I just keep talking to myself.
Where do you live?
So I live in Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm actually a 4th generation Greek. So my great grandparents are the ones that came here from Greece, and I've been involved in the Cretan community for years. And my dad's family is Cretan, and so I was heavily involved in Cretan dancing, and we have a big Greek community here, which is surprising to some people. Like Utah has a community. Yes, we have a pretty big Greek community here. Yeah. And what about you? Like, well, I want to hear about the viewers too. Like, where are you guys from? Where's your family from in Greece? Is anyone else from Crete or anyone from any island, mainland, whatever? Like, I'd love to hear from you guys too. If you can like unmute and then we can kind of chat. So it's kind of like a fun, like.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Sorry. So if you're at sea level, do you bake for longer or less time?
Yours will be done. Yours should be a little bit longer, just barely. I would just watch it. Mine goes a lot faster just because of where I'm at.
Okay. Also, hi. I'm also Cretan from Salt Lake City and Eleni. It's Sophia. Hi.
Oh. Sorry, I can't see the people talking, so I'm like, I hear a voice. Yeah. Okay.
I'm also a black square, so that's why.
Okay, I'm like, I hear voices. Oh, cool.
Hey, Eleni, my mother is born in Crete, and she's here with me tonight.
Oh my goodness, what's your name?
Ekaterini.
Harika, how are you? Thanks for joining me. From
Ευχαριστώ.
Yep.
Σας καμαρώνομαι.
my family is from Gravelahori. Where is your family from in Crete?
Από τα Χανιά της Κρήτης. Στα
Oh,
Χανιά.
yeah. Wonderful.
Hey, we're really enjoying. Thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you, Kostaki.
I think you should. What was that?
My wife says you should have a cooking show.
Oh my gosh. One day. I'm building my confidence. I will be honest. Like I'm working on
Great.
that.
Thank you.
Very enjoyable.
Thank you. That's so sweet. Yeah. I'll work on it. It's always in the back of my mind, and those sweet comments are always so helpful. So thank you so much. One day, stay tuned. Have you been? Oh, I don't know if they are still on. Hanya. So yeah, Kapahori Hanya, super close. So my second batch is ready, but I still got a few more minutes on my my first batch.
Do you have a website we can go to and follow you for recipes and tips and things like that?
Yes, absolutely. So my website is elenisaltas.com, super easy. And I post all my recipes there. And then I also have a cookbook. You can also follow my Instagram. I'm starting to work on putting more videos together. I know they're really helpful too. So for viewers to look at. So I will be working on more videos. So go ahead and follow. So my social media, Instagram, Facebook, are all just Eleni Saltas, making it super easy.
Awesome.
Having a Greek name, and you don't have to have any weird new, like numbers and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, you need a remedial class for those of us that have married into the Greek family that don't understand stuff.
You're here and you're trying to learn. That's great. So good for you. What was your name?
Carol.
You? Yeah. So a favorite thing you've been learning to do yourself?
Oh, I'm just starting, but my mother-in-law Kathy is the wizard, so I'm very blessed.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, those Hanyati. Yeah, they know. They know.
They do. She's great.
Good. Well,
I put the website in the chat for anyone who's interested, and also we have a question about if we need to stir the syrup, kind of while we're in this process.
I keep stirring it. So I'll show you. I'll bring it over and show you what it's looking like. So I'll show you this. I don't know. Let me bring it down a little bit. So this is the syrup here. I've just been keeping it on low. So yeah, keep it stirred because you kind of get these like little bubbles from the sugars and things like that. You can see that. You can keep it completely cool, but I keep it like at a little like warm temperature. Just to, it soaks a little bit better, I've noticed. And I like to really infuse my cookie with the honey. It just keeps it a lot, the cookie stays really moist if you do it that way. Or you can completely cool it and you go like hot cookie into cold syrup or cold cookie into hot. I kind of go warm to warm for these only. It's just what I've noticed has worked the best. So you just like, can I keep stirring it? And then we're going to be putting the cookies into the syrup shortly. So I'm gonna bring that over in a second and just kind of show you how I kind of station everything once we get going. And yeah, this makes a lot of dough. So I still have like this whole thing of dough. So I'm just gonna show you all the steps. And then if you want to stick around and make them all, or just like learn how we're doing it, that's totally up to you. Yeah. Anybody else? Like is melomakarona your guys' favorite cookie, or do you guys have? I know there's like the toss up between melomakarona, so and it's hard to choose favorites. I know, but your favoritism towards melomakarona. Is that why we're out here? Yeah, we all want to learn it. Duh. I'm just gonna kind of stir this dough. Who's ever making them? How are they looking, smelling? Do you guys have your next batch rolled out and everything like that? Whoever's making them. Let's see. Let me see how much time we have. I'm just gonna kind of check on them.
Way behind, still working on my dough.
Work on your dough? Okay. Who was that? Couldn't see. So
Our first batch.
about the dough and how it's looking. Like I said before, it kind of comes out a little bit sticky and it feels a little bit greasy. You don't want it like super stiff, because that way these will absorb all the honey that we want to infuse onto the cookie. Oh wait, let me.
First batch.
Oh, nice. Okay. Oh, so you're ready. Are they done? You've already baked them.
Yeah, these ones are baked.
Hey, you're fast. So, okay. So I'm not there yet, but we'll show you the next step. So just let them cool. What I would suggest, you can keep them on the baking sheet unless you don't have another one for your next batch. or you can put them onto the finished ones onto like a parchment paper, and then we'll do the next steps, like putting them into the honey and everything like that. So like I said, I will show you my method. To me, with recipes, I like to use them as like a guideline, and then like I find what works best for me. So you might find with this, like I like just go like from pan to syrup to whatever. Totally fine, absolutely. So just find what works best for you, and yeah, it'll be great. So good job, you have your cookies done. That's good. Next steps will be good. Do you have your honey syrup ready?
Yep, it's here. It's ready to go.
Have you ever made these before?
Nope, first time.
Oh, good. All right. This will be a good tell of how making skills. Good for
Don't
you.
worry, we got the pro here to help out. Yeah, over here, making sure that they're right.
Oh my gosh, how cute. Oh, she's probably so proud. Good. If you want to talk any more about your program as well, go ahead and do that. Got a few more minutes on the baking. I'm so sorry. This is like the hardest process, is the waiting, but it's all worth it. How he feels about me.
Where's your grandmother, Constantine?
I'm so happy that we're able to talk about my relationship with Tasha.
She's hiding at the moment.
She's incredible.
Yeah, we need to see her.
Really intelligent.
Yeah, tell her to get on camera so we can see her.
I think the feeling is happiness, like genuine, legitimate happiness.
She'll be in a minute.
all the baking. Good.
I don't like to have
So
the
then you
words to describe it.
hot enough?
You just always knows what to do and what to say.
Just trial at them as well. I know it's so hard that like this muted, and so I'm just asking questions here. Good. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of prepare these over here for the next little bit.
Yeah, while that's happening, I also have Paul Pavlakos on with us, who's the past president of the Sons of Pericles and the co-chair for the Greece 200 initiative with me. So we wanted to also just kind of mention, while we have a moment, about a monument we're looking to build in Athens. So Paul, if you want to come off mute and we can talk a little bit about what we're trying to do.
Sure, yeah. Sorry, I was having some audio issues, but thank you, Eleni, for coming on. First of all, I mean, I think this is great. Very, very happy to be able to have this event. As far as other programs that we're doing, obviously with Greece 200, our main goal is to kind of, as Costa said in the beginning, preserve our past, honor our past by building the future and look forward towards the future. And one thing that we've been very involved in the community, kind of the youth diaspora community, is making sure the Greek genocide of 1914 to 23 is kind of recognized, remembered, and memorialized. So one of our more ambitious goals, but something that we think is very necessary and very feasible, is to build a Greek genocide monument in Athens. And so we've had some productive conversation, and we are committed to kind of making that goal become a reality, to have some sort of monument in Athens memorializing the Greek genocide and its victims and those affected, something that kind of people who are descendants of those ancestors can be proud of, and something that the entire community, both Hellenic people and Phil-Hellenic people, can kind of go to, support, pay their respects to. So, hope we'll have more information on that throughout the year, but high level, that's where we're looking at. So I don't know if you had anything else to add, Costa.
No, I think that pretty much sums it up. I mean, we'll be posting more information and more events as they come up. We will be looking, just as a kind of for sharing for the future. We do have an event coming up. It'll be the last week of the month as kind of a holiday celebration, pre-New Year's mixology event. So we'll be sending out more information on that. It'll be a Mastika mixology event.
These are coming out. I'm gonna bring these out of the oven. They're about to go off, and then we'll show the next steps. Whoever is ready to show the next little bit. So
Nice kitchen.
All right, so if we don't want to like have them all ready now, would you freeze them after you bake them, or would you freeze the dough?
Sorry. Ah. Sorry, 1 second. So I would bake them all now since you already have all this stuff going. It's kind of nice just kind of get it all done, and then you can freeze the cookies once they're cooled. They store really well for months. Like I said, my yaya, she literally does this so far in advance and then just has them just anytime you have like a party to bring them out. They'll just kind of warm back up to room temperature after they've been frozen. She just after like maybe like the day before, leave them out and they'll kind of unthaw. They're not like, they don't freeze crazy, you know? And so I would make them all now and then just get the hassle over with and then bring them out as you go. They'll last too in Tupperwares. So Christmas next week, they will last in a Tupperware for about 2 weeks without probably like one and a half weeks to 2 weeks without going bad. But like I said, if you feel like you want to freeze them for that comfort, they will freeze really well. So if that helps.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Like you do every process. So you have like your dough, your cookies and the honey, everything like that, and the walnuts. And then on a Tupperware, I would just put your cookies down, put like a parchment paper down. If you stack them at all, just line them with parchment paper. Don't put them like cookie to cookie, do like 1 to 1. So if that helps you. It's nice for these kind of things, just like get a bunch done. Like once you're like in the mood for it, just like get it all in there. So yeah, so I'm going to show you. So I have the next batch in the oven, but I'm just going to show you my process. That way you guys can see it. And then you can either stick around while I make more, or you can hop off and you know how to do it. I'll be here. So whatever, maybe grab another pot pad. I'll show you my setup here. So bring this down here. So, okay, I'll show you here. So like I said, right here, I have all my walnuts and my parchment paper. Because I like to get the bottoms a little bit, have a little bit of walnuts on them. You can also, my use like a pie tin and puts them all in there and literally rolls them. So that's up to you on how much walnut you want to use. So you'll find, like I said, you'll find like a method that works for you. So we're going to test your hands here and how hot they can handle. So they've been out of the oven for a few minutes and you let them cool just for a few minutes. And then you don't want to go right away because they'll crumble in the honey, but they're pretty much easy to handle. Like I can just pick them up and they're pretty good to go. So we're going to go right into the honey. I'm just going to kind of like let them go. So you guys can see here, I'm going to bring this up a little bit and I'm just going to plop them into the honey syrup. So here, I'm just going to use my hands. So don't do too many at a time. Let's see here. Oh, yes, in here. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see. So not too many at a time. I'm just going to do like 3 to 5. And look, the cookies kind of expand too, getting that honey into them. So I leave them in for about 10 to 20 seconds. And then I'm just going to put them right onto the parchment paper like this. It's nice to have a second pair of hands too, because right now I want to put them put some honey or put some walnuts on them. So I have I guess you can't see it so much. So I have my thing of walnuts right here and I'm going to put them onto the hot cookie so that they stick. And so this, my friends, is the finished product of how they look. Kind of cute little guys. Again, you can roll them in the walnuts, but Maya, who is grew up in the Great Depression, she doesn't waste anything. So rolling in them and like sprinkle them too much, she doesn't like any waste. And so she'll even use these walnuts and put them on to the cookies too. So we're not wasting any walnuts here. So again, we're going to put some more cookies here. Maybe it depends on your size of the pot, but maybe about 4 or 5 just goes into the syrup. You don't want to overcrowd as they go in. So just kind of get them nice and honeyed up. Like I said, they kind of expand because they're just filling up with honey, which is great. That's why I like to work with both of them, like both medium heat, like both cookies are medium and the syrup. They just really take up the syrup when you do it like that. And again, throw in some walnuts. This would be a great project for little kids to do this part. Like I said, it's a lot easier to have one extra pair of hands, but if not, you guys can do it and just get them all up on there, all the walnuts. And I'll show you the ones that I did of the ovals too, because that's like a very traditional type too. If you'd like, you can make all yours that way. It's just a preference. I grew up, it's just funny. I mean, that's just the way I grew up with them, just like the round shapes. A lot of people grew up with the oval shape. So as with everything, everything is just to your taste and kind of how you were, how you're brought up with which types. So throwing them in. As those are in, you can even throw in some more walnuts on these. They're just looking so beautiful. So with your walnuts, you want them nice and chopped. You don't want like too big of pieces. I just noticed I have a couple big ones. That's okay. Just finely chopped here. You can use a food processor or something like that that will get those nice and finely ground. And yeah, this is my little process of how I like to do them, especially by myself. I found that this is the best way to do it, easiest way. Yeah. Is anyone on this process right now? Is anyone doing the syrup part? How we doing? Good, great. It's so hard not having feedback right away. So
I'm not there yet. Can I show you mine when they come out of the oven?
need to look at yours, absolutely. Yeah. And I can guide you as you go. Yeah. And throwing all those in. Just really want to get that syrup into the cookie. Put too many, it's okay. You guys can see that here. I can even like bring that down a little bit more. Again, just getting those all coated with the syrup. Don't want to leave them in too long, and you don't want the syrup too hot or the cookies too hot because you don't want a crumbled cookie. Done that before, and all that makes for is just a cookie you got to eat right away. That's fine.
So are these okay, or should I leave them in longer?
I can't see your screen. Is that Sophia? Who's talking? I can't see.
Yeah, it's Sophia.
Let me look at your screen 1 second. Let me just pull these out. If they're nice and brown and golden, you are set. How long did you leave them in for?
I think like 19 minutes.
Okay. Let me look at the screen and I will let you know. Number. I would leave it a little bit longer. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And same thing with like ovens, which is kind of also frustrating too. Is like I swear every oven is different too. So just a little bit more brown, especially on the bottoms. That's like a good measurement too. Is like if they're browned on the bottom. Yeah, you're almost there though. I would say like 1 to 2, like a minute and a half. Whoops.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Have you made them? Is this your first time?
Yeah, it is my first time. I'm nervous.
Oh, you're doing great. Those look beautiful. Okay, so everybody, this is the first batch. Like I said, this whole dough is going to make like 100. So this is a process if you just have one oven, like me. But yeah, this is our first batch. I'm going to show you here. It's kind of hard to look at those. Looking nice. And so really quick, I'm going to put my syrup back on just so it stays warm. Like I said, I don't want to just like get too cool just because I want to keep that syrup nice and warm throughout. So I'm going to put that back on the heat, just low on low. And then the next batch will be ready in 8 minutes. So kind of got that all honeyed up as I was doing that. Any other questions? How is everyone? How's everyone doing?
Hi, Eleni. This is it's not a question related to the specific topic, but I remember you saying you're from Utah, and I remember reading this article from the there was these Cretan miners that were in the Utah, like around that area, and they were from Crete specifically. And I was wondering if you had any family members that were related to that. There's like this whole thing about the Cretan miners like kind of revolting against these unfair labor conditions and all that back in like the 1800s, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's, yeah, great. Was that in the Hellenic Journal?
Where did I see it? Was it Greek? It was one of those Greek Facebook pages, and they had an article about it. Yeah. It was specifically about people from Crete. They were the miners there, and they had this whole revolt, like fighting against these unfair conditions and all that. It was pretty cool.
Really cool. Yeah, that's a really cool thing to bring up. So yeah, actually my dad's papu was there in the mines.
Wow.
A lot of my family actually were miners. My great grandparents, my papu, my dad, my uncles, like they were all miners. And fortunately, obviously he was not there when the accident occurred. There was two different types of mining accidents. One was in, I believe, Price or Colville. And sorry, Castlegate. My dad's like, he's like the historian. So.
Oh wow.
So I can give you more information on that too. But yeah, like I said, a lot of my family were actually miners, so we have that history. So a lot of Greeks actually came here from Ellis Island to Utah to mine. That was like a big draw. But job offers that happened or that were offered to them. So yeah.
Awesome. Wow.
What's your name?
My name is Foti Karandonis. I'm from Toronto, Canada, and I'm director of operations at NHSA as well. So thank you again for like this whole program that you're hosting. It's very informative, and happy to get some more information from you from that. It was awesome to learn more about it. Thank you.
Thank you for joining in. Yeah, and I will send you, if you would like any more information on the coal mines, anything like that, I'm happy to send you any more information. It's a really cool part of history. We have a monument at our church that recognizes the men that died there, and so
wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna be him in our church as well. So yeah, it's a really cool place here, obviously. And then like we honor all that history too. So yeah, it's really cool. That seriously. So sharing that.
I'll be in contact with you about it. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd love to share any more information that I can offer you.
Excellent.
Okay, so how's everybody doing on theirs? I'm gonna grab another baking sheet really quick, and then we're gonna make our next batch. So this is kind of a long process, so I apologize, but I'm really appreciative of everyone that's sticking around, and I hope you're all learning something along the way. Okay, so someone just asked me if I could show the dough. Yes. So like I said, I probably have like 2 more batches worth because I already have one oven and I already took one out. This is what my dough looks like, if you guys can see. I'll bring some up to show you. So the dough should be kind of sticky, but not like soft, but not where it's sticking to my hand. See, look, it's not like sticking to my hands, and it looks greasy. Now it sounds gross, but it's okay because it's, like I said, it's going to absorb all the honey. So welcome for those who just joined. So thank you so much. And we're gonna go ahead and roll the next dough really quick because I have 3 minutes for the next batch to come out, and I'll show you all that whole process again. And so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and roll some more. So I'm gonna show you here. So that just splotch, whatever. So I prefer these size. You can make them bigger, it's up to you. I'll make a few more ovals because actually I kind of think those are kind of cute. So I'm gonna make some like that. So let's just start with a few of the circles, and then I'll also make some ovals. So I kind of like it just kind of fits in my palm like this, and I kind of just pat them down just a tad. Yeah. And like I said, my honey is back on the pot. My honey syrup is back on the pot just to kind of keep warm for the next batch that comes through. I know
I'm having trouble getting my walnuts to stick. Do they need to be in the syrup longer?
Yeah, keep them in the syrup for about like 10 to 20 seconds. And then right away you just put them on, and then they should stay on too. You can also, some people like to throw like a little bit of syrup at the end too. You can also do that. That would also work out just fine. And then let me see what yours is looking like. Or do you have is it on your screen? I can see you. I can kind of guide you a little bit. Let's see. Okay, so with those, I would probably chop your walnuts a little bit finer. That could also be a thing. So I know it's kind of hard now that you're kind of going for it. So yeah, with the walnuts, if you guys can see my screen here, they're pretty fine for the most part. That helps make them stick a little bit. If that helps for the future, you want them to be like pretty well chopped. So I'm gonna hurry and keep rolling some more.
Thank you. Sorry, I keep going on mute because all my kids are here. So.
Oh, that's okay. Are they helping? Kids helping?
Not yet. I'm not confident enough yet, but they will soon.
Yeah. Throw in some walnuts. Yeah, I would probably chop your walnuts a little bit more, and that will help with the sticking.
First batch, I think they look all right.
Oh, wow, those are really good. What the heck? You're gonna put me out of business, man. Beautiful. Good job. And they taste great. So with these actually, I mean, obviously taste, as any cookie does, taste great out of the oven warm. But because of all their flavors, there's so many, like you got some orange juice, you got cinnamon, you got whiskey, whatever. They taste better as they sit too. So the next 2 days, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, these taste even better. Same with the stew. The stew tastes better over time, and these cookies taste better over time.
Hi, Eleni. How would you go about putting nuts inside the cookies if you wanted to do that?
You can fold them into the dough. So what I would do is at the end, I would fold them into the dough just kind of lightly. It might change. I've never done that. I'm sure that's been done before. Anytime you kind of add weight to a dough, it brings down the dough a little bit so they won't puff up as much. But that's totally doable. I just don't necessarily see that as much, but that you can maybe add like a little bit and then do more on top. So you get a little bit of walnuts in, a little bit of walnuts out. So that's an option.
Awesome. Thank you.
So I'm now making a few ovals, and my next batch is actually ready. I'm gonna take them out in 1 second. Yeah, like I said, this makes a lot. So, I mean, I think that just like the Greek way, I don't know. I don't know how to like make anything small really. Like, just like we cook to feed armies basically. And that's what I feel like with these. But anything like, so like with anything like tedious, like these cookies or baklava or tomadas, like whatever, I just like to make a lot ahead of time or at once, like when I'm in the mood for it. And then a lot of those things will freeze well. So like when you're in the mood for stuff like this, like just get them done and then freeze them if need be, if they last. But these make really good holiday gifts, obviously, and for yourself too. I mean, come on, who doesn't love these? Okay, I'm gonna pop these in the oven, and then I'm gonna bring out the next batch and show you the next steps for anyone that's new on to watching. Should probably get a hot pad because I burned myself. Okay, so I'll show you how they look out of the oven. So browned, be hot, but here we are. Brown on the bottom and kind of brown on the top. They look like little biscuits for now, and then they get infused with all that syrup. And then we have our syrup. We'll let that cool just a tad. I'm on too hot. How's everybody doing? So we have one batch done and they look great. Anybody else with any finished batches? Maybe. Let's see. Once I can see everybody's. Yeah, Sophie, those look good. Yeah, I would just probably just a little bit longer in the syrup and then using some chopped walnuts. Other than that, it's looking great. Who else? Anybody else is making any? I know some people are late to making them, but they're on it. Okay. Okay, so again, I'm just gonna show this my little station. I have finely chopped walnuts here on the bottom and up here. And then I should probably get some more parchment paper. And then we're gonna put them into the syrup and just kind of repeat that process until all the dough's done, which seems like a long time. I'm so sorry. But you're here. Okay. Let's move this. Okay, so I just let the cookies cool for a few minutes, slightly, and then they're gonna go right into the syrup. So don't let them cool too long. So they're ready to go. So process here. I'm just gonna go plop them into the syrup. I'll bring this down just a little bit more so you guys can see. Warm cookies go into warm syrup for mine. That's the way I like to do them. And not too many at a time, but just kind of just flip them around a little bit so they get all on the bottoms, all on the tops. And I leave them in for about 10 to 20 seconds, not too long because like I don't want any cookies to crumble. And yeah, and you can kind of tell as after they go in, they kind of expand a little bit. Yeah. Okay, so they've been in there a pretty good amount of time. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put them onto my parchment paper. Oof, that's hot. Very hot.
Lenny, this is Andrew. I was thinking of getting the book. I was thinking of getting your book. How long does it usually take to ship?
So on my website, so again, really quick, I just brought them out of the syrup and then I'm just gonna put some walnuts right onto them and then they'll stick. So on my website, it'll ship in about 2 or 3 days. I mean, you'll get it in about 2 to 5. It depends on the like right now, COVID is just like kind of hard to navigate, but anywhere from like 2 to 5 days from ordering. And then Amazon, I'm not sure. They're pretty quick. I mean, they're on it. So yeah, I also have my book on Amazon. But if you live in the States, you can also go through my website, elenisaltas.com, and then I can ship them out directly to you, which is nice.
Which do you prefer?
Well, my website, I can if you want, I can write something to you, like if you want like a little thing, like a signature, whatever you want. Whereas Amazon, I don't have that capability of doing so. So my website is kind of nicer that way. Amazon's pretty quick. It's just hard because I mean, Amazon kind of controls things, you know, like out of my control. And so I prefer mine just because I know what's happening. I know when you're going to get them and know how they come. So, I mean, that would be nice, you know, through there. And then I can see who orders. It's kind of nice too, but it's totally up to you. No pressure on either way.
No, that's fine. I'll do it through the website. I was pretty much, I know that they can also, they got a kickback and stuff like that too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Amazon, yeah. The reason why he's a billionaire.
That's right.
Yeah, sure, I will say that. That's all I got to say. But yeah, thank you so much. That was so sweet to even think of that. Yeah, so I'm just gonna keep repeating this process until all the dough is done and used up. So. Sorry, it's not the fastest process. Like this is, as you can see now, like this is why I make so many ahead of time. Just because they do take a little while, but they're all worth it. They look so pretty and they're delicious. So you can see here, I'm just going right into the syrup, giving them. And then if you feel like you're not getting enough syrup into the cookies, put them back on low heat, put the syrup back on low heat just to keep it a little bit warmer to infuse all that syrup and sugar and all that into the dough. Sophia, how's yours looking now? Or if anyone else is making them.
Grinding them more definitely helped.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
And when you have multiple batches, like how do you stack them? Do you use parchment paper?
Yeah, so like as you can see here, I'm just kind of using, pretty soon my whole countertop is gonna be melomakarona, like so. I don't like to stack them because I like to keep them cool like this. So yeah, you just gotta literally use your whole countertops to use them. But once like this side, so like this side is kind of done. If you don't have enough counter space or anything like that, you can probably start putting them into like a Tupperware, but without the lid, because you still want them to cool. But if you have space, just leave them on the countertop until they completely cool. Yeah. So I'm almost done with the second batch, and then my third batch is almost done, and then we're got another thing of dough. So here for the long haul tonight.
I said it came out pretty well.
Let's see. What was that? Have you tried them on?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Good.
Very good.
A little honey everywhere. Like I said, they're delicious out of the oven, like nice and warm. But they do develop flavor over time. So all those like great spices and flavors are just gonna come together even more the longer they sit. Okay.
And they also go well with white wine, in case anyone's wondering.
There you go. Baking meat requires some wine. Yeah, there you go. So again, I'm putting my syrup back on low heat just to keep it warm for the next batches. So before I make another round, if there's any other questions.
Just one more. Sorry, just one more about the book. If we wanted, so I was thinking of getting it. My brother and I were thinking of getting one for our mom for a Christmas gift. If we wanted, would it be possible to have something like a quick note or something in there?
Yeah. So on my website, sorry, it's kind of confusing me with the software I use. I have on my website. You have to create an account, so I hope that you can get past that, and it's not a problem. Let me know if there is. There is a place there where you can write a note. So it should have a message part, like, please leave this note for, or write this out to so-and-so, and I'm happy. And I always will read those. That's why it's nice to go through me, because on Amazon, I can't see that. Or they don't have that option. So yeah, really quick, everyone also, if you go through my website, I'm extending this holiday offer, especially to you guys, now that you mention it. For 30% off the cookbooks, use discount code cookbook at checkout, and you'll get 30% off as a thank you for everyone watching. So yeah, and I'm happy to, like I said, write a personal note or anything like that, or just write my name, whatever, or anything you'd like, I will go ahead and do that as well. So that's very, yeah, that's it. It makes great holiday gifts. This recipe is in the book as well. So yeah. Oh, there's the Nasi. Hello. I don't know his son. What's up? Okay, so
Hello, sorry, I got the pedilla running around, so we're trying to watch and babysit.
what? Wish I could send you some cookies. Smelling good. This is what we have so far. You guys can see. Smelling good, looking good. I'm gonna roll out some more. So we have another batch coming in. Yeah. Is there any other questions as before I get started rolling the next batch? And then I was getting repetitive. You guys are freaking masters by now, I'm sure. But this one's kind of warm, so or cooled off now. So this is what the final product is. Delicious, nice, and coated with honey. If you guys are making yours, like I said, they're delicious right off or later. So any other questions I'm happy to answer, or we can keep rolling. Okay, so someone has leftover syrup. So if you made all of your dough and use it all up, if you have a lot of leftover syrup, the Yaya Saltas in me would say save it and use it, because you might have another batch of something you got to make another time. Like the syrup is also used on, like you can use kind of similar syrups on baklava, stuff like that. Or I've seen some people use their syrup and they put some extra honey. That's a little aggressive for me personally. That's my personal take. But you can also do that if you're a syrupy kind of person. I think this has a lot of syrup just by the way it infuses. So you can throw them on there as well, or just save it in a little jar for the next time you need any kind of like a syrup mixture, sugar, honey, and everything like that. So they can, a lot of Greek goods use a similar syrup, so you can always save it. I hope that answered your question in a long way. Sorry. Oh, thank you. Okay. So we can keep going. I'm gonna roll another batch out and just kind of show you one last little step, because we still have another batch coming out in 4 minutes. So I'm just gonna roll them while I'm here, and then I can show you the next steps again, or you guys can, I'm gonna leave you guys to yourselves to do it too. So we could also do that, but I'm gonna start rolling the last little batch. This should be my last one. And here we go, I'll bring this down here. So for the last people that are joining in, like I said, here's the dough. It's a little bit sticky and a little bit greasy. It doesn't stick to my hands. So we're gonna roll them out here. You can make these little ovals or circles, or I'm gonna make a few ovals, which makes a cute little shape. More dough. Yeah, this one's all preference of how you want your cookies to look. I like the little circular look, but that's up to you. And then we use a little fork on these to make these little shapes. Yeah. I'd like to thank everyone again for joining. Really appreciate the support, and I hope you all have learned something here. Yeah, I think what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna put these in the oven, bring these out and do one last little show of how I do my process. And then I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. So in the next like 5 or so minutes, if you guys have any other questions, go ahead and ask them and I'm happy to answer. Is anyone else from the West Coast here or in the United States? I think everyone here is from the United States minus one from Toronto. Is there anyone else outside of Toronto right now? And then maybe it's just the United States. I know it's so hard. We're all on mutes and stuff like that. We're here to learn, but I'm such a chatterbox. Sorry.
Is anyone else on the East Coast getting ready for a storm?
Oh, you guys
already in the storm.
Are you?
Yeah,
Where do you live?
New York.
Yeah, we're waiting in Massachusetts.
Yeah, it's coming. Don't worry. It took a while. I saw it progress from Baltimore to Philly to New York. It's coming. Don't you worry.
All right, good to know. How is it?
Oh, I don't know. Here it's snowing like sideways, like vertically or horizontally rather.
We need that snow over here.
Oh.
Has anyone ever been to Utah? Other
Not yet.
What was that? Not yet.
Not yet.
Anthony has. Does anyone have like a favorite part in Greece that they like to go to?
I like Nafplion.
Oh, Nafplion? Who said that? What's your name?
Sorry.
You're okay. I know.
My name.
Yeah. Are you making stuff? Are you baking too?
Like I said, I'm really behind. I'm still on my dough. I didn't make it, so I was making the dough and listening.
Oh, you're okay. Oh, thank you for joining. How's your dough feeling?
It's definitely feeling greasy. It's not sticky though, but when I press down on it, it kind of comes back up. So I'm hoping it will be nice and fluffy.
Yeah, yep. And where are you from?
I was born in New Jersey, lived there, went to school there, and then lived in West Virginia for a couple of years. Now I live in South Carolina, Greenville, South Carolina.
Okay, nice. Well, thanks for joining and making your dough's looking good. Like since you're late to coming on, like I said, like I live at high temperatures high altitude. So the dough I use, I use less flour. So yours, you might have to just find like that sweet spot for you and where you live. But this is how, I think I showed you this one, how it will feel greasy and it seems weird, but I promise this is the way it's supposed to feel and look. I'm gonna grab my other batch out of the oven and let them cool just slightly. So these are how they look out of the oven. I didn't roll them as well as my first ones, so you can kind of see they're kind of, well, they're fine. But yeah, they're like little biscuits, like nice and warm and brown. And yeah, so this will be my last one, my last pan.
So it looks like I may have ground them too much. It's like kind of like a paste.
Oh my, I've done that before. Okay.
Too much, right?
That's happened. I mean, it just kind of sticks onto it. So if you have, you can kind of combine your other ones with that one.
Okay. Would you like grind more, like at a lesser?
Yeah, I've done that before too, because my food process, like I've used a food processor before, and it literally turns everything into a paste unless you go like super slow. You know, like gotta go like kind of bolt it, or just go like quick little jolts on it.
You like mix it up so the stuff at the bottom goes to the top?
You gotta bring up this a little bit, your hand. Let's see.
Okay.
I mean, it's okay. I mean, that'll be okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. You just kind of just stick it. So
all right,
yeah.
Thank you.
I actually tried to do this with pistachios on it, and the pistachios kind of turn into like a cream. So you just kind of like pat it on there and it'll still look fine. Okay, so I'm just gonna pop these into the oven, my last little batch here, and then we should be fine. I'm still happy to answer any other questions, especially for people that are just popping on. I'd love to answer anything and help everybody so you guys have the confidence to make your own at home. Like I said, you just kind of have to play around with like your ovens, your temperatures, and things like that. Especially for a first time, you gotta like get the feel of it, and you're gonna be great next time. Alrighty. So for anyone else, this will be my last one. Well, I had the other one, but I don't want to keep you guys too long. I know this has been a long show. Melomakarona aren't the fastest things to make, but I appreciate everyone sticking around and willing to learn. So I have my syrup here. And I just let the cookies cool just a little bit, just so not too long, because I like to really infuse that syrup into the melomakarona. So I'm just gonna go from hot cookie, like warm cookie, into pretty much warm to hot syrup. You don't need to keep them in too long, but just enough that you guys can see here that they really, you can kind of tell, they kind of get a little bit more golden in the syrup, just like so. And just really let that syrup go into the cookie. So it kind of comes out like this. It really gets nice and golden. Quite taut. Like I said, this is a lot easier having two hands, but this is the way I do it when it's just me. So it's like I found the easiest process, this setup at least. And then while they're hot, out of the syrup, we're gonna sprinkle walnuts onto the cookies. And these are pretty finely chopped, and they'll stick right on there pretty well here. Yeah, because if they're too big like this, like I just found, they won't stay on as well. And then you don't want to chop, you don't want to like bite into a giant walnut. So yeah, I'm gonna pop some more in there, and then we're gonna keep going. So after this, I'm going to let you guys handle it. I think you guys have seen enough or heard enough of me, at least. So if you guys have any last minute questions, I'm happy to help and answer anything that I can do for you.
I have one more question. So you said you only put a few in the syrup at a time. Why is that?
Just because if it gets overcrowded, you're not gonna know like which cookie is been in there longer. I mean, if you have a big pan, then you can, but I don't want to put them all in. I put like basically how much will fit the perimeter of the pot.
Okay, I gotcha. Thanks.
And because also like the syrup will kind of cool down with cookies going into them too. So just kind of watch out for that. That's why I maintain the syrup back on the heat, like back to the low heat in between batches.
Hey, Eleni.
Who is it? Who are you?
Jimmy.
Hi. Oh, what's up?
I finally got my stuff together here. What's the consistency supposed to feel like when I'm like rolling these?
Let me see your video. Can you bring it down?
Probably not that good.
Okay, those are pretty large. That's okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I might cut them in half.
Yeah, so the dough, like I said, should be a little bit greasy.
It's greasy. It's not sticking. Like, is it supposed to be like? It should be a little greasy. You said.
Yeah, so it should be a little greasy. Does it feel a little bit greasy on your hands?
So my question is, if I accidentally, since everything else was 2, I put 2 teaspoons of baking soda instead of a heaping teaspoon, is that going to be a lot worse?
No, that's okay. It's not gonna.
I get it's like a really heaping one.
The only thing is like the baking powder affects things like based on where you are. The baking soda, you might feel it's not gonna affect it too much. No, you're okay. Because I did a heaping teaspoon.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd probably just cut your dough in half a little bit for those circles. Like mine is kind of like onto my palm, like circle wise. But that's up to you. Like I mean, it'll still be fun. You're just gonna have to adjust your baking time because they're a little bit larger. But yeah, I've seen like giant melomakarona. I've seen like small ones. So it's just kind of up to you. You'll find like literally like I have like a little mini one and like one bigger one. So even I kind of vary my sizes here and there. Yeah, looking good, guys. Everybody's doing great. And then I can stick around too. And since people are just barely putting their cookies in, I can kind of show you, unless you guys have got this all handled, let me know. So yeah, Jimmy, you can make like little ovals or you can make circles. That's totally up to you. So yeah, you can see here, mine is kind of staying in the syrup a little bit, especially towards like the last of the batch. You might need to keep them in just a little bit longer just to get all that syrup on the cookie. I am gonna need more parchment paper soon. And the amount of syrup is almost perfect. It's like a little bit more than maybe you need, but it's almost there. If you even need more, you can throw in some more syrup or honey or water into the pot, but should be pretty much right on and a little bit extra. Okay. Oh, I have more. They're never ending. I'm so sorry, you guys. It's a lot. Your neighbors are gonna love you. Or holiday or whatever. Yourself.
Well, anyway, you top these next ones. Just sorry, going back to the book.
Yeah.
So it said at the beginning that I had 25 minutes to put it in. We were talking about what we should write. And so I clicked finish, and then it said at the top, items were removed from your cart, and it doesn't look like anything is in the purchases or order receipts. Does that probably mean that it didn't go through?
Yeah, it times out. Yeah, so I'm so sorry.
I'll do it. No worries. I want to make sure.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And if it did, I will let you know. But yeah, it'll take it out of cart if it's not.
Okay, no worries.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw down another thing of parchment paper. So yeah, then my whole counter, your whole counter space will probably be melomakarona soon, which is fine. Great, beautiful. Like I said, I like to put a little bit of walnuts down on the parchment first. Again, these are finely chopped, and I can show you all the consistency here. You can kind of see these are like how I like to keep my walnuts. And that one's up to you. I've seen like literally giant walnuts on, so that's kind of your call.
Eleni, can you talk a little bit about making the syrup? Do you bring that to a boil? Do you do it a slow until everything melts out and blends?
Yes. You want to bring it to a boil first. That way you get the sugars to cook through, because we're putting in sugar. And then you bring it down to a low heat, low simmer, basically like literally on the lowest temperature until you're ready to start putting in your cookies into the syrup. So is that okay and helpful? Are you making yours right now? Your syrup?
No, I've made them in the past, and I just was curious what your method was on that syrup, because it seems like it needs to be a good consistency. You don't want it too thin, but obviously it's not going to be thick.
Right. Yeah, I let it boil to get the sugars cooked through, and then I let it just kind of simmer until using them.
Thank you.
And again, since I have another batch, I'm just gonna let that be on low heat until I need it again. But yeah, so I have another few minutes until my next batch comes out. If there's any other questions, again, I don't want to keep you guys super long. I'm so sorry this has gone on so long. Let's see. So let me just show you how the table is looking here of all the melomakarona. So we're gonna get about 100 cookies based on the size that I use. If you make them a little bit bigger, obviously you're gonna have less cookies, but they make about 100 of like little small sized cookies.
I might have 30.
Yeah, or one giant cookie. Which this is fine. That's literally like how I get on like sometimes when I make dough, like especially like kludakia, like I just at one point I'm just gonna make one giant like design and be done with it. But yeah, these are like something like I said that you just want to make a bunch and then have them for a while. So yeah. Okay, how's everybody doing? Okay. I think we have a few people still baking and all that. So I can stay on for a little bit longer for anyone that needs any other questions. I'm happy to just keep baking with you guys. So you guys go ahead and tell me what you guys will like, and I'm here for you. Jimmy, are you doing okay? Sophia, you're doing okay? I know you guys are baking. I don't know who else is. I think there was another person baking. Let's see how your shapes are looking now. Jimmy, is your shape looking better, better size?
I'm making like 3 trays with successively smaller cookies.
Okay, there we go. That works. That works.
The people I don't like as much will get the smaller ones.
There you go. Now they'll know. Yeah, now they'll know. Like, don't like me. So, okay, I'm gonna wait for the last little bit. I'm gonna make a little bit more syrup here. Kind of. I'm really quick on my syrup. All the honey's just kind of gone to the bottom, so just add a little bit more water to the pot. Even I sometimes don't measure, stir in a bunch of honey, and now I have a lot of honey. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So I think we're gonna be logging off here shortly. But again, I'd like to thank everyone that sticked around and cooked around and baked with me. It was really fun, and I hope you all learned something. Now we have a bunch of melomakarona to eat and share with friends and family and everything like that.
Yeah. Thank you, Eleni, for taking the time to be with us, and thank you everyone for joining us today for cooking. I mean, I don't know how many people have anything done, but these are like the done ones here.
Wow, those look so good.
There's got a few more left we're putting in. So again, thank you, Eleni. I'm going to send out an email to everyone that'll include the link to your website so that everyone has that as well. It's also in the chat for anyone who's interested to look at it now. If there's any final questions, feel free to ask. I'm going to stop the recording and then we can end from there.